All right. Thank you so much for joining me today here on the Red Pill Investor podcast, as well as here on YouTube at Sell More Homes Now for another exciting day of prospecting. Boy, I got to tell you, you're going to really enjoy this episode. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to do an exceptional amount of prospecting thanks to the good folks over at TheRedX. They're helping us out here. They're help sponsoring what we're doing here, and I am very grateful to them. You might want to check them out. Go over to their website here. I'm going to provide a link for you here before too long. You'll be able to save $149 on a setup if you want to go ahead and dial like I do. They're certainly a good company to consider. Now, what we're going to discuss today, along while we're calling our pre-foreclosures and our for sale by owners, our expired listings and canceleds, tomorrow, maybe even the next day, we're going to even add for rent by owners, and we're going to start calling them too. So you'll be sure to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. If you're joining us on iTunes, you'll definitely want to go ahead and give us a shout out there. Give us an honest review. That's all I would ask. This week, we're definitely going to make mention of you here on air. So we'll give you a shout out if you'll help me out by giving me your opinion about the show. Today, we're going to discuss a lot of the biggest news. This show is going to be a little bit longer. If you don't have time to sit here and watch me for an entire couple hours while I prospect, I certainly understand that. I would recommend that you go over to TheRedPillInvestor.com. You'll find a podcast there where you can go ahead and listen to it in between appointments, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up a couple tips and tricks that will help you in your business. So today, let's go ahead, get started as we always do on the right foot. Make sure we get this day and this week started out properly by taking it to the Lord in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for this day. We are very grateful for everything that you've given us. We're grateful for our health. We're grateful for our families. We're grateful for the health of our families. Lord, all the good things you give us, we're exceptionally grateful for. Lord, we're just asking that this week you'd help us to go forth to help people in our communities, to help them face the problems that they're facing, Lord, in real estate. Help us to use our skills to help them so that they can escape whatever problems they're having with minimal trouble and to avoid having to fall into the snares of working with people who don't care about them as much as we do. Lord, we'll just ask that all these things you'll be able to accomplish in Jesus' name. Amen. So let's go ahead and get started with our dialer. If you're joining me here on YouTube, feel free to go ahead and hit me right there on the comment section. I see a couple of you folks joining me already. Feel free to go ahead and hit me in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you may have as soon as I see them. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go over to the Vortex dialer, press dial, and boom shakalaka, let's get started. Man, I'll tell you, I have been waiting for this. I have been missing you. As you can tell, my voice has been a little bit off, right? Been having a little bit of congestion, and certainly makes it a little bit more difficult to prospect, makes it a little bit more difficult to podcast. And believe it or not, I actually do miss prospecting. I know I'm one of these crazy people out there who actually enjoys prospecting. Believe it or not, after 20 years of doing this, I've just got used to it. I've really become used to the fact that people are going to pick up the phone, and sometimes they're going to be happy and sometimes they're not. I've become accustomed to the fact that, many times it's not going to work out. But I also recognize that the times that it does work out, whoo, boy, hallelujah when it does, because man, you are able to make some serious money for really helping some people. And a lot of times they're very grateful for what you do. One of the...
Hi, you've reached Frank Coates with Whole Foods Market. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, and have a good...
So last week, as you may remember, we were discussing a lot of the news. We didn't obviously get into a lot of chances to discuss a lot of the news because we had so many people pick up the phone, which I'm grateful for. But we didn't go into a couple of the things that I felt were good news stories for us to talk about. And one of them was about a man posing as an agent was arrested in an open house robbery. I had mentioned this in the last podcast, maybe it was the last one or perhaps the previous one to that, that there was a man, if you were a broker, if you're a real estate agent, if you were holding an open house in any way, then you needed to know about this story. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to cover it. So today, I wanted to make a point to get into this story with you today, because if you're a real estate agent who invests like I do, or let's say you're just an investor who's not a realtor, but for whatever reason, you're holding a home open, there can be a lot of danger associated with that process, and you don't even think about it. Now, look, I'm a big guy. Okay, I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. I'm a combat veteran. I'm fairly confident that I can take care of myself. However, I don't feel that I could probably fend off 4 or 5 attackers at once, or maybe 2 or 3 good, strong guys. And if I was a young woman or a smaller man, there's just sometimes you can't help yourself. And this is a situation where it was frightening. Toronto police have arrested a man who allegedly posed as a real estate agent in order to pull off a jewelry heist at an open house. Charles Dixon pretended to be a pro.
You have reached the Patel residence at 803-851-66.
That goes to show you how early in my mouth, I can't even tend to get things going here. So apparently Charles Dixon pretended to be a pro, it says, pretended to be a realtor to gain access to a broker's open house. Holy cow, on May 22nd, and swiped $30,000 worth of jewelry from the master bedroom during the property tour. Holy cow. Okay, so I want you to imagine the scenario. If you're a real estate broker, you could certainly appreciate the irony of this, right? So there's a broker's tour going on, a broker's open house. This is not an open house that is designed for the public. Okay, this is not a situation where you had a bunch of signs out on the road and somebody just drove by and said, you know what, I'm going to go get in there. No, what happened is you have a broker's open house. You got a bunch of brokers going in and out of the house. And you got one guy, Charles Dixon, he decides, I guess, to pretend to be a realtor, walks into the open house and proceeds to take $30,000 worth of jewelry from the master bedroom. Well, what does that mean for you? If you're the listing agent, you should automatically recognize a problem here. First, why do your sellers have $30,000 worth of jewelry laying about? That's just not a good idea. If you have a listed property, you should always make sure your sellers understand that they should put away all of their pickable things uppers, right? How kids are. We'd like to think it's somebody other than the Charles Dixons of the world, the people who are thieves, the people who are stealing from people.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you?
Who is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I'm fine. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Yeah, it sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. My name's Karl. I was actually looking for the owners of a home on 8th Avenue. Is that your property, sir?
Yes. I have several on 8th Avenue. Which one are you interested in?
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm looking at the one over there at 1019 South. It looked like that property went off the market the other day. Is that still available, or whatever happened with that?
Can you tell me?
Yeah, I'm a broker. I'm sorry, I'm a broker who buys property here in town, and I noticed that it went off the market, and so I was just calling to see if you were still interested in selling it. Are you?
Got it. Yeah, no thanks, Karl, but thanks.
So if I gave you money for it, you wouldn't want to sell it to me? Is that what I'm hearing? Mm-hmm. See, now this is one of them situations where you've got somebody who's probably not all that motivated, is what I'm kind of gathering here. And that's quite all right. So in any event, as a listing agent, you should contact your sellers. You should tell your sellers at the time of listing, listen, if you've got things that are easily picked up, things that you could, foreseeably see a child walking in and saying, oh gosh, this is pretty, and then taking it and putting it in their pocket and walking home, that's stuff you'd probably want to put away. Rings, jewelry, prescription pills, firearms, things of that nature you want to secure prior to people coming to your property. And it's true that a homeowner has every right to expect that their home would be secure from a thief, and that's certainly true. However, it's just a little easier, I think, if you know that you're going to have your home open to people. It would just be a lot easier if you get rid of these things. Turns out that Dixon has been charged with one count of being unlawfully in a dwelling and theft over $5,000. Police are also investigating other incidents to determine if the man has duped other victims. I guess the way that it worked, the way that he got caught, is that while the home tour was going on, the homeowners were there, obviously, which further indicates, this is a broker open house. As you know, on a broker open house, on a broker tour, it's probably a tour from the company. The company says, hey, we're going to bring a bunch of our agents by, between right after our company meeting, we'll be there at, between 9 and 10 or something like that. The homeowner usually hangs out. But if this was, say, a regular property showing from a regular agent hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I think I've got the wrong fellow, though. I was looking for Frank. Is Frank around?
Nope. This is Chuck.
Oh, gosh. What a shame, too, because you sound like a really nice guy. You sound like a really nice guy. All right. Well, listen, Chuck, you have a great day, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. There we go. So Frank is the guy that I always say, it sounds like, I got the wrong guy. I'm looking for Frank. Frank is the one that I always say, if I look at this and I can see that I've got the wrong person, in this case, the fellow Chuck that we just talked to had a manufactured home here in town, and he was in a little trailer park area there. And that is not something that I can really deal with. Hello?
Please press 5 to have your call connected.
All right. Hang on. There we go. I think that's going to get...
Directors.
Hey, Karl Krentzel, how are you today?
Good, I can help you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the owners of a property on Delano Street here in Tucson. Is that your property? Oh, man, dude hung up on me. See, this is something else, I'll tell you. This is just my personal feeling. It's probably not a good idea just to hang up on somebody right away, because you never know. I mean, that looks like something I want to buy, and you don't want to sell it to me simply because I'm a realtor? That doesn't make sense. Well, anyway, so in this particular case, you can tell that this was a broker open house, and it said that when the homeowners approached Dixon to question him during the open house, he fled the home. So here it is. Everybody's having a broker open house. They're walking through the property, and I don't know, maybe the jewels are left out. Maybe mama's jewels are left out on the counter in the living room, in the bathroom, bedroom. I don't know. And for whatever reason, homeowner comes walking by, looks and sees that apparently the jewels are missing, and starts asking this guy about them. Maybe, hey, hello? Oh, hi there. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you today? Hello, Mr. Hi, can you hear me okay? I'm sorry?
I can.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Oh, no. Yeah, no worries. My name is Karl Krentzel. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I was actually looking for the Aguirres. They own some property over there in Casa Sedobis. Is that your property?
Well, yeah, that's my father's. I'm Erica Aguirre. That's my father is Fernando.
Oh, okay. I'm a broker here in town. Is that property still available for sale, or did he sell it, or whatever happened with that?
I do not know, honestly. Which property is it exactly?
It's 6675
6675.
Casas Dobas.
Okay, and in Tucson, right? The house.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe it's still available.
Okay, all right, no problem. I'm not sure how I got your number, but all right, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate you.
I know, that is really weird. I mean, I can get you. So, were you interested in the house?
Yeah. I was just calling because it looked like, I've been sick for the last couple of days, and it looked like it went off the market. And I was just calling to see if he still was selling it or what the status of it was. And do you happen to know? I've got a couple different numbers for him here. Let's see. I've got.
I can actually get you in contact with, I believe, the realtor. He's a friend of ours.
Oh, okay.
And you can get in contact.
Well, what I can do is I can just look it up on the MLS. That's no problem. If I can just look it up on the MLS, it's no big deal. All right, awesome. Well, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And I'm sorry, what was your name again, Karl?
Yes, ma'am. It's Karl.
Okay, it's a beautiful property. I hope you.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Get in contact with Mr. His name is Robert Moreno.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So they,
Number that does not accept solicitation.
So they had, I guess, confronted the fellow with this missing jewelry, and they called the police, and I guess they had somehow detained him. Perhaps I guess he fled the home, but in any event, they got the fellow, and that was that. So when you're holding an open house, keep an eye out, look around, make sure, even though, we'd like to think that everybody is on the up and up, but gosh, that's just not the way life works. So you want to make sure that the people that you talk to definitely have the ability to show the property to people who are real people. Make sure they're not in there just casing the joint out. Okay, so let's move on. Definitely got a piece of really good news for you. If you're a realtor here, as you know, we've been watching the market the last few days. We've been watching how the reports have been showing that the prices have been going up, but they've been going up incrementally. And even now, after the first quarter, we've seen that prices have started to dip in some areas. And one of the things that as a realtor, implicitly, the thing that prevents people from buying properties is this feeling that something else is better on the way, a better home, a lower interest rate, whatever it may be. And so if you've got buyers on the shelf, if you will, if you got people who are kind of thinking about it, then you want to let them know, hey, check this out. Mortgage rates have dropped to new 2-year lows, right? And this is as of, I printed this out yesterday. This actual article comes from Freddie Mac. Was dated the 9th of June, said that the 30-year fixed rate was 3.82%. A 15-year fixed rate was 3.2%, and a 5-year hybrid ARM was 3.5%. Now, certainly that comes with a half point on each, pretty much. But when you think about it, they said that this marked the 6th consecutive weekly decline for mortgage rates, leaving some borrowers wondering, how low will they go? And I think that's a legitimate question. With the average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage at 3.8%, this is the lowest it's been since 2017. That's September 2017. That is an incredibly long period of time. So there's a lot of people looking at this, like myself, and perhaps you. I mean, if you've been in this business for any period of time, you can see how this 3.8% is a ridiculous.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Is a ridiculously low amount of interest. I mean, that is practically giving the money away. I remember back when I first started in real estate, I remember it was about 7.5%, 8% was the prime rate at that time, right? And I remember some of these old salty agents back then saying, well, you should have seen back then. It was back in the day. Well, gosh, it was 13, 14, 15%. We were writing, and that was, that was hard for me to accept. And there's some of those old salty agents in this market today, right, who still remember those 14, 15% interest rates, and they've got to be having a heart attack right about now, seeing 3.8%. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, what does this mean for you and me? Okay, well, look, according to Sam Cater, Freddie Mac's chief economist, he says, while the drop in mortgage rates is a good opportunity for consumers to save on their mortgage payment, our research indicates that there can be a wider dispersion amongst mortgage rate offers. By shopping around and getting a single additional mortgage rate quote, a borrower can save an average of $1,500. Listen, I understand. Well, let me just back up and say this from a different perspective, okay? If you're newer to real estate, or the real estate game. Let's say you're a newer realtor who's thinking about becoming a real estate agent who invests, right? Coincidentally, I spent all weekend, I was finishing up, except when I was in church, I was finishing up this book that I've got coming out here within the next 10 days, I would say. Just finishing up, putting in the links, putting in the photographs to make it a nice ebook for you. It's called Wholesaling for Real Estate Agents, for realtors, because as you know, if you're a realtor, there are a lot of things you cannot do that the unlicensed person can do, and there's a lot of things that the unlicensed person can't do that you can do. And what are some of those things that you need to... Hey there, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Why are you calling?
Well, I think I got the wrong number, it sounds like. I'm looking for the fellow who owns a property on Manlove. Is that your property?
No, it isn't.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day, okay?
You too, bye-bye.
All right, brother, take care. See, sometimes when people sound like they're already a little upset, there's no sense in aggravating them or, you know what I mean? There we go, just delete that. There we go. There's no sense in aggravating the poor dude. There we go. All right. But very briefly, if your choice is to become a realtor who invests, then that book is going to be something you're definitely going to want to check out. Also, while we're on the topic of books, right here is a copy, if you're watching on YouTube, it is a copy of the Red Pill Investor Scripts. This is a 59-page book that I printed out just so you could take a look at it. It's an ebook that you can download from my webpage at theredpillinvestor.com, where you can definitely go get a copy of this book. And essentially this ebook will is all the scripts that you need, flipping or assigning properties, for rent by owners, for sale by owners, lead follow-up, all the questions that you need to ask, things about the presentation, the pawn shop presentation, how to go ahead and make a presentation, all of these things, along with links directly to items in the podcast where you can either see or hear me do this. And so it'll not only put it in a writing form for you, but it'll also go ahead and put it in an audio form in your podcast so you can hear. Hello?
Hello, it's Mark.
Hey, Mark, Karl Krentzel, how are you?
Who is this?
I'm sorry, my name's Karl Krentzel. It sounds like I've got the wrong person. I was looking for the owner of a home on Deer Crossing. Is that your property?
I own it.
Oh, very cool.
Off the market. So.
Yes, sir. I noticed that actually.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually calling to see if you were interested in selling it. Are you?
If somebody makes me an offer.
Okay, well, that's actually why I was calling. I'm a broker who buys property. About how much would you want for it now that it's not on the market?
About $420.
About $420? Okay, how much is it worth?
Yeah. About $450.
Okay.
Can't seem to sell it for that. So $420.
Okay, I'm curious. Why do you say if it's worth $450?
I gave you the number. Make me an offer if you want it, or just remove my name from the list.
Oh, okay.
I'll be getting 1,000 calls.
I bet you have.
Right?
I bet you have. Hey, real quick, why is it worth $20,000 more than Zestimate says it is?
Well, because of the view.
Okay, that's
make
legitimate.
Me an offer
okay.
Or remove my name.
Okay.
Right?
And when would you want to close by?
As soon as possible.
Okay. When's a good time for me to come out and take a look at it?
Well, you what's your name?
Yeah, no problem. My name is.
I'm not going to waste my time if you're not a serious buyer.
Well, I don't want to waste my time if you're going to be if you're not going to be a serious seller. I don't want to waste my time.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you know all the information on the property and everything.
How do I know it doesn't smell like cat piss?
Interested. I'm sorry?
Yeah, how do I know it doesn't smell like cat urine?
Yeah, it does. All right.
It does?
Thanks, guys.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not interested.
Does.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See, one of the things I think that you really want to one of the things you really want to consider when you're talking to people, right? People have this impression as though that they can just talk to anybody anyway, and then it's going to result in a positive result for them. And that's not the way life works. You know, you can't just talk to somebody and say, well, make me an offer. You know what this, you know that, and you know the other. That's not the way homeowners and home buyers really actually operate. And so you can clearly see, and clearly, I mean, he's, hello?
Hello?
Oh, hey there. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm not certain if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was actually looking for the owners of a property over there on Secret Canyon. Is that your property, sir?
Which one?
Oh, I apologize. 7518 North Secret Canyon Drive. It was recently on the market.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, again, my name's Karl Krentzel. I'm a broker here in town. I'm curious, is that property still for sale, or what's the story with it, if I might ask?
It's not for sale. It's not for sale. We're not selling it. We had envisioned maybe selling it if somebody paid us the price that we were asking, but no, we're not a seller right now.
I understand. Okay, no worries. I'm curious, if you had sold it, where were you going to go next? Were you staying here in town, or were you taking off? What was the plan?
Yeah, staying in town.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Down.
Okay. And so just hypothetically speaking, if someone, I mean, I don't know, if somebody came to you, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, and how much were you asking for the property?
3.2.
Okay. If somebody had come, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago and offered you 3.2 for that property, would you have sold it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, that's why it was on the market. And hypothetically, and I don't have anybody, I don't want to lie to you, but if I did have somebody, let's say, who'd pay you 3.2, 2-3 weeks from now, would you still sell it to them?
We might. We would certainly consider it at that point. But,
Okay.
But we're not going to actually market it for sale.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, so it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is you're still interested in selling it. It's just you don't want to go through the hassle.
I mean, somebody paid our price. We've recently invested a lot of money in the property and done a lot of upgrades. And if somebody paid us that price, then we consider selling. It's relative to what Don Baker paid for the house, or relative to what he put into the house, and relative to what we put in the house. It's still a bargain at that number. So anyway, if somebody did, so be it. But we're not going to be an active seller. So, Karl, if you had somebody in your back pocket, at 3.2, we talked to them.
All right, fair enough. And one last question. You've been super honest with me, and I appreciate that. Do you happen to know anybody offhand who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I appreciate you taking a second anyway. Listen, I hope you have a great day, okay?
Talk to you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Now, I wasn't going to push that fellow particularly far because it looks like as though they just bought that property about 1.5 to 2 years ago. I was doing some research while he was sitting there talking, and it looks like they purchased the property about 18 months ago or so. So it's not really of a good value, I should say, for me to try and contact them and deal with them on that level if they're not going to be that interested. $3.2 million is a great property. However, that market is not exactly on fire here in Tucson. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
What you want, Karl?
Well, I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I owe you an apology. Are you the lady who owns that property over there on Star Galaxy?
No, I'm not. I'm the mother of.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh,
we're not interested in doing anything.
No problem. Well, gosh, I'm sorry I interrupted your day and got the wrong person. That's certainly not what I wanted. Okay, so you're saying that they're not wanting to sell. Is that correct?
Correct. We're staying here.
Oh, you're staying there? Oh, okay. No worries. Well, a quick question. At what price do you think would they consider being a seller?
Never. Thank you.
Well, God bless you. I don't blame you there. That's a beautiful. She hung up on me. All right. No worries. Let's see. I'll take that as a not interested. Bammo. Okay, good. I'm gonna tell you, you can't take these things personally. All right. So anyway, back to Sam Cater over there at Freddie Mac. He's talking about, the borrowers can go out there if they're shopping around a little bit. The points is where a lot of your buyers are starting to make your lenders are starting to make some of their money is where they have to, charge them a little half point here or there. And I mean, if they shop around a little bit, they might be able to get a good deal. But gosh, 3.82% with an average of a half point being an origination fee, falling from last week's 3.99%. Wow, that's amazing. Last year, last June, June 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th or so, the average rate was 4.5%. We thought 4.5% was pretty low. Now it's 3.82 with a half percentage on your origination fee. That's just unbelievably low. So you'll definitely want to let your clients know if they're in the market to buy, this is in fact the time, because holy cow, when you look at it in perspective, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to jump into some perhaps bad news, maybe some scary news. So I hope that you'll, put this in the right place. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to give you bad news. I'm not trying to put the fear of God in you, but I am trying to warn you. I am trying to be that man who's, hold on. I don't know how they caught through. Can't talk right now. Blammo. There we go. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to put the fear of God in you, but there is something that you need to be aware of that is happening right now, even as we speak, that is affecting realtors. Oh, goodness. Can't talk right now. There we go. It's funny. I put this thing on Do Not Disturb, and I swear to God, the people who get through the Do Not Disturb they've got to be, I don't know, telemarketers, or maybe they're people that I'm calling. They're calling me back. I don't know, from caller ID. I'm not sure how, but somehow they're getting through my my phone there. So anyway, one of the things that's going on, let's just jump into it. Ransomware attacks in Baltimore puts other cities and firms on alert. This is coming from the National Association of Realtors. What they've done is they've really combined two stories. First story was a ransomware attack on Baltimore that cost the city $18 million from techspot.com. And then the other was real estate deals are impacted by ransomware attack in Baltimore by NBC's WBAL TV 11. Now, here's basically what's going on, A ransomware attack, this is June 7th, obviously. A ransomware attack last month that targeted departments of Baltimore city government, along with other area facilities, infected about 10,000 computers, causing home...
Hi, this is Lan Allen. Please leave me your number, a message, and I will get back to you.
I don't think that's who I was looking for. That's not who I was looking for. Not at all. Wrong number. There we go. Okay, that was the wrong number for that fellow.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen to your message. Press 2 to erase and re-record. Press 3 to continue recording where you left off. Message erased.
There we go.
At the tone, please re-record.
There we go. Okay. So moving on. There we go. The ransomware attack, government along with other facilities infected about 10,000 computers, causing home sales to be delayed during the busiest home buying season of the year. Uh-oh. Think this through. Okay, I don't know where you're from, and I don't know what city you live in. If you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching this on YouTube right now, and I see a couple of you fellows right now writing thank you or watching, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Think about this. Just a what if. Stop what you're doing right now, unless you're driving, of course. But think this for just 1 second. What would it look like if there was a ransomware attack on your city that infected 10,000 computers that delayed home sales during the busiest time of the year? What if every one of your home sales right now, what if every one of your pendings was now delayed? Oh my God. Where would you pay your bills? Where would you get the money? How would you pay for your transactions? How would you pay your car payment, your house payment? You know, what would it look like if all of a sudden every pending deal you had got frozen and you couldn't close any of them? How would that affect your business? I can tell you it's painful. I've had it happen to me. I remember when...
Hi, you've reached Whitney. Sorry I've missed your call, but if you leave your...
I remember back when the market was doing very poorly, you know, how the market crashed, I was on top of the world. I was representing Deutsche Bank, One West, Bank of America. I was representing a lot of the banks in their foreclosure department trying to sell their REO properties. And let me tell you, money was good. Things were great. I mean, in a crashing economy, I knew this was coming, and that's why I prepared myself to get into the REO business. And if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see a YouTube channel or a YouTube video that says how to get into the REO business. I mean, that's exactly how I got into the REO business. And I knew that the crash was going to come. I just knew that it was coming. I sold everything I had. I was in the REO market at the right time. I had everything going for me. I was making money hand over fist. I couldn't spend...
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
I couldn't spend it fast enough. I went to the Caymans a couple times. I went on a boat cruise. I spent all the money. Let me tell you. And then the thing I did...
Hi, you've reached the voicemail from Linda. Leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
The thing I didn't count on was the greed of the federal government. I'm sorry, of the bankers that were foreclosing on the homes. They would foreclose on properties before they had permission to. They would foreclose on properties that weren't even theirs. They did all kinds of financial crimes. And I didn't even anticipate that would happen. And when it did, then the federal government stepped in righteously and froze everything, all the closings. Nobody is selling anything. That's what they said. That was difficult. It froze all my pendings. And let me tell you, that is a difficult thing to do. Baltimore Mayor Bernard Jack Young says that all the city's services remain open since May the 7th attack that encrypted city networks, but many departments, including municipal payment and finance systems, are still facing issues and relying on, quote, paper documents and manual workarounds. More than 1,000 pending home sales have been delayed due to the cyber attack on the city systems. If you're in Baltimore, if you're a real estate agent in Baltimore, if you're a real estate investor in Baltimore, I'm going to say a special prayer for you tonight, because this is horrible. I have been where you are, and trust me, that's not fun. God bless you. God help you, because look, there are people in this world who do these cyber attacks And that affects not only the people in the city, the people in the county, it affects you as a practitioner and your customers and your clients. Now, maybe, okay, you're thinking, okay, great. That's why I save my money. That's why I keep my money and I'm ready. And in case something like this happens, well, I've got money in case it does. But what about your customer? What about your client? They're counting on this money to close. They're counting on the deal to close. And in a cyber attack, guess what? They can't close. Scary. We've called all the expires. Now we're going to move over to the pre-foreclosure list. We're going to keep talking about this ransomware attack here, but I just wanted to, if you're following along on the podcast or if you're following along on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and switch up to the pre-foreclosure list. So what you're going to hear me say now is a little bit different because these people here are in a lot of a different situation, and they may or may not be in a position for us to do anything with. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear and see what happens. So let's go ahead and get this sorted out here. One of the things I would definitely encourage you to do, if you have not done so already, I would definitely encourage you to go ahead and contact me at theredpillinvestor.com and download some of our scripts that you can get. The scripts version 5.0 is free. I mean, you can just download that straight from my Dropbox. Or if you want to go ahead and get the version, as I mentioned, that has all the links to it, to the podcast, then you can just, support us by paying $10. You'll get a free download. Well, you'll get the download for $10, and you'll have a bunch of podcasts that are linked into it that'll help you as well. So let's go ahead and get calling these pre-foreclosures right now. Press dial. Again, this is coming to us from TheRedX. We'll have a definite link in the system that you can go ahead and contact them and save $150 on your setup fee by going through our website. We'll have that set up for you here this week. You'll definitely want to hang on and use that. That will get you some money and it'll save you. Let's go ahead and press dial. Bam. All right, now we are dialing pre-foreclosures while we're continuing to talk about this issue of a ransomware attack in Baltimore. It says that the attack, which encrypted all of the data on the affected users' computers, left city employees unable to use email, shut down its payment systems on its property tax portal, and it put real estate transactions in the city on hold. It says that the city was unable to process deeds or deeds of trust for recording purposes.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
And that the deed... let's see, the city was also unable to issue lien certificates. So tax liens and lien certificates and things of that nature, they can't do that. They can't record your deed. You can't record your deed.
Hello?
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Good, yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. My name's Karl Krentzel. I'm not sure if I have the right person. Are you the fellow who happens to own a property out there in Vale on Chatfield?
Correct.
Oh, great. No problem. Well, listen, I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was just calling to see if you'd ever considered selling that property. Have you?
Oh, well, I'm renting this property right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm renting this property, and the owner of the property he got foreclosed in July.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because the owner of the property he went missing.
Oh,
I've been
boy.
renting this property for like 5 years from him, and all of a sudden he went missing. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh my goodness.
No one can contact him. So the property is going to be foreclosed in July.
Holy cow. So what happens now? Are you guys buying a property, renting it out, renting another property? What's your plan?
Well, that's the thing. We've been here too long. We don't want to move. But we are. We went through a bankruptcy, so we wasn't able to buy at the time. Right now, I'm still within the realms of my bankruptcy. So I cannot buy.
Okay.
I like to continue till I'm able to buy.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm hopefully the person who purchased the home from the foreclosure, they want to continue to rent until I'm able to buy.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Well, listen, I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So let's see here. We're going to dispose of this as there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Keep going. All right. Let's see here. Yes. So the ransomware attack was unable to process deeds of trust, or issue lien certificates. It says the widespread attack has also affected hospitals, ATMs, factories, and many city services. Hackers have demanded a payment of 13 Bitcoin per computer to decrypt the locked computers, which is approximately $100,000 each, if you're going to, I guess, compare Bitcoin to cash. Baltimore has not paid the ransom, but Jack Young, the governor, hinted this week that he is considering it to start moving the city forward. First of all, Mayor Young, Jack Young, look, I understand. He says that the city has lost 18 million.
Your call is being answered by an automated attendant. If you know your party's extension, press 1. To use our automated name directory, press 2. If you would like to speak with an operator, press 0. Thank you for calling.
Okay, I don't want that. All right. Jack Young says that the $18 million in estimated losses includes $8 million that has been lost in deferred or lost revenue while the city was unable to process payments. The tally is likely to rise, he notes.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
First of all, okay, if you pay any money, Bitcoin, wampum, shekels, copper pieces, whatever you give to a hacker or anyone who's holding you hostage, you can guarantee that it will happen again. It'll happen again because you've incentivized a person to do it. You've made it financially viable for them to do it. If you are stupid enough to give someone $100,000 per computer, whatever, that 13-bit. Hello?
Hi, this is Britt. I can't get to your call right now, but please leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Sounds
Have
like
a great
this one's
day.
the wrong number there. All right, hang on just a second here. Let's see. All right. So if a company, I'm sorry, if a county or a city or anybody like that is stupid enough to pay a hacker 13 Bitcoins per computer to decrypt a locked computer, well, guess what? You've incentivized them to do it, and they'll do it again and again and again and again, and they'll never stop, and they'll do it to somebody else. This is why you do not allow people to do to hold you hostage. It doesn't matter if it's a city in Bitcoin or if it's you and your business. You don't allow anyone, not a client, not a customer, anybody, a boss, anybody, to hold you hostage in your business. You cannot allow that, because if you allow somebody to do that, then they'll do it again. It says the attack is under investigation by the FBI. A similar but smaller attack on city networks occurred last year in Atlanta. The city spent $2.6 million to recover from the incident and refused to give in to ransom demands from attackers. That's honestly, that's the only way you can do it. You cannot realistically expect that you're going to pay people money and they're going to leave you alone. In Baltimore, God bless you. I mean, I'm going to pray for your agents. I'm going to pray for your investors. I'm going to pray for your city. You need it. But bless God, do not give in to the demands of a hack. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hey there. This is Karl. Hi, this is Karl. How are you?
I'm fine, guy. What's up?
I'm not sure if I've got the right fellow. I was looking for the owner of a property on Placida de Coronado. Is that your property, sir?
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. All right, listen, since I got you, all right, wrong guy. Let's see here. All right, and keep on going. Good deal. Yeah, you can't let people do that to you. That's just a bad way to go. Okay, so let's jump into another good story here for us. If you're watching on video, if you're watching on YouTube, this is coming to us from Realtor.com. The home flipping popularity returns, but don't expect high profits. Oh my goodness. Says, this is from Adam Data Solutions here. Home design TV shows may be inspiring more consumers to take on a house flipping venture for themselves.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you?
Oh, just fine. Who's this?
No problem. It sounds like I might have the wrong number. My name's Karl. I'm looking for the owner of a property on Canyon Shadows. Is that your property, sir?
Oh, wow. I don't even know where Canyon Shadows is.
No worries. Well, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you happen to know anybody who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No, not that I know.
No problem. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. I hope you have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Sorry for the wrong number. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not particularly worried about these numbers right here being wrong because these are pre-foreclosed numbers and these are a little bit older. And so some of these properties may have already been foreclosed. The list itself is going to get better. I'm going to talk with the good folks over at TheRedX here a little bit later on today, and they're going to finalize and sort of target more specifically what I'm looking for as far as pre-foreclosures for rent by owners. They're very easy to work with. I've worked with a lot of systems. I've worked with Mojo. I've worked with Vulcan. I've worked with, let's see, who else? Sales Dialer. I worked with them. And I have to be honest with you, out of all the places that I've worked with TheRedX the longest. They were, I believe, the second place that I don't know, they were the first place I actually worked with. Way back in the day. And I have to be honest with you, they are probably the easiest to work with as far as their service. Their service people are super easy to work with. Plus, I would say that they also have the best data. It's a little bit more expensive, I will grant you, but it is certainly worth it. You can save $1 or $2 when you go to another firm, but the data is not going to be the same, and the information, the numbers are not going to be all there. And many times it'll be very difficult for you to work with. The thing I really like about TheRedX is their multi-dialer as well as their Vortex contact management system. It certainly makes it a lot easier for me to cross-reference and check, for example, people on the pre-foreclosure list. If, let's say, hypothetically, they were for sale by owner, and they are also on the pre-foreclosure list, which one of these for sale by owners is, then they cross-reference them. So I know when I call them that, hey, this person is not only a for sale by owner, but they're also on the pre-foreclosure list. And so I just click a button here and I can see what exactly is the situation, how much they owe, when they're going into foreclosure, when the date is, and it puts it into one place on your contact management system. And for me, that is super helpful because I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm pretty good with computers, but I'm not always that good at understanding where things need to go. And anything you can do to automate the process for me just makes it a lot easier for me. So let's get back to this home flipping popularity. It says that home design reality TV shows may be inspired.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
Another
system.
voicemail. We're just not going to get the chance to finish that story. It says that in the first quarter of the year, this is according to Adam Data Solutions. This is says that the U.S. home flipping rate reached a 9-year high in the first quarter of. Hello? Hello?
Who's this?
Oh, hi. Not sure if I've got the right person. I apologize. My name's Karl. Karl Krentzel. I was looking for the owners of a property over there on Elm. Is that your property, sir?
Who's this?
Yes, sir. My name is Karl Krentzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. And I was just calling to see if perhaps you folks had ever considered selling that property. Have you?
Oh, you got the wrong number, sir.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, well listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash? Okay, so one of the things that I like to do with a pre-foreclosure, there we go. One of the things I like to do with a pre-foreclosure, I like to act dumb. I mean, it's not too hard for me because I am pretty dumb. But when you think about it, and you act dumb, and you're like, hey, this is just Karl. I'm a broker here in town looking to buy a property, and I'm curious to see if you'd considered selling your home. Okay. It's a lot easier for you to kind of approach it as if you're a cold call kind of thing. You just kind of lucked into it where you just kind of got led here, right? As opposed to you saying, hey, I noticed that you're on the foreclosure list. You're going to lose your home.
Sorry, but the person
I mean,
you
all those
called
sorts
has
of
a
things
voicemail
probably
box that-
not a good approach, right? So sometimes I've found it's just a little easier with a pre-foreclosure that you approach them like you didn't know. And, they don't always have to know everything you know, right? I mean, there's no reason why you need to let them know that. So it says that in the first quarter, 49,000, we're talking the first quarter of this year, okay? This is 2019. Remember how we were talking about how the prices, according to Zillow, had kind of, they'd slowed down and then in the first quarter started to kind of tip over. It says that in the first quarter, 49,000 and hello.
Please leave your message for.
Says that 49,049 homes were flipped, representing 7.2% of all home sales during the quarter, the highest home flipping rate since the first quarter of 2010. The report shows. Now, researchers define a home flip as a property that was bought and resold within 12 months. Now, understand a fundamental difference between the investors of today, the real estate investors of today, versus the real estate investors of, say, 2005, 6, 7, 8, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, those investors were speculative investors most of the time. Those were investors that would go out and buy properties that were brand new at new construction. And then by the time...
Your call has been answered by a via IP office, extension 4.
By the time that the home was finished in construction, they were many times able to turn around and sell it to another person. And, that would work out as a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 profit or more to them. And it didn't really require anything but time. And of course, things to go up, right? Now, fast forward to where we are today. People who are investing today where you are, many times are rehabilitation type investors. And a rehabilitation type investor is the kind of person who many times uses this concept of other people's money. Again, nothing wrong with it. Other people's money, gets a hard money loan, a hard interest loan, spends... Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Karl. Hi, my name's Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was looking for the Stingleys. They own some property over there on Linden Street. Is that your property, ma'am?
It is not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I got the wrong person.
That is my family, though.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Well, the reason why I was calling, I was actually just calling to see if they'd ever considered selling that property. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. Do you know if they'd ever considered selling that property?
No. My mother is nearing 100 years old.
Oh, God bless her heart.
To live her last days.
Well,
we couldn't pry her away from that property.
Well, let's hope that's a good long time. Well, God bless her heart.
Yeah.
Well, good for her. Well, listen, since I got you here anyway, do you happen to know anybody else who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
I do not at this time.
No worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay. So let's see here. Go. And we'll just let's see. Let's get rid of that number, get rid of that number, and get rid of that number. Okay, cool. There we go. Perfect. Let's see. Yeah. So the investors that are buying today, obviously, are rehabilitation buyers, buying things with hard money loans, hoping that.
Burner and Company. This is Christine.
Oh, hi, Christine. Karl Krentzel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not sure if I have the right person. This sounds like an office. Is that correct?
It is.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
sir.
Okay. I was actually looking for the owners of a property on Shining Moon Way here in Tucson.
Okay.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, I know it's one of my boss's properties. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was actually just calling to see if he'd ever considered selling it. Do you know if he's considered selling that property at all?
I don't know what the current status of the property is.
Okay.
I can take your information.
Yeah,
and
please,
have
if you
him
don't
call
mind.
if he's interested.
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Karl, Karl.
Okay.
My last name's Krentzel, Kreen, as in November, Tzel. Kind of a weird name, kind of like pretzel with a K. And my phone number here is a local area code, and it's 403 6227.
Okay, and who are you with?
I'm a broker here with Sotheby's International Realty, but I'm looking at buying it on my own.
Okay. All right. I will run it past him and have him call you if he's
Wonderful.
interested.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
day. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see here. Right. Let's see, left a message. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. So, yes, home investing. So,
thank you for calling the locksmith.
As you know, many people are buying properties with the intent. Let's see here. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. Let's just do this. There we go. With the intent to buy them and to do a lot of work to repair them. So they take out a hard money loan, do the work, and then turn around and sell it on the MLS, typically for a higher profit. That is okay, but hoping that the market keeps up and is continuing to appreciate, that's what gives you the ability to make a profit. Okay, so it's really important that you understand if you're just getting into real estate investing, especially if you're a realtor who's watching this or listening with the idea that, I've got this interest in getting investing and getting into it, then it's important you understand, okay, that in a market that is, hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I'm pretty good.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was looking for the owners of a home on Tuttle Avenue. Is that your property?
Nope, you got the wrong people.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
I don't know anyone.
It's kind of an odd question anyway. All right, no problem. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day, okay?
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. Right, so let's see. This was the wrong number. Delete that and count it as a contact. Okay, cool. All right. It's important that you understand that that's how the money is made, obviously, many times is on the appreciation and the amount that you buy it at relative to the, the repairs that you put into it. So according to this report, it says in the first quarter, this represented 7.2%.
Hello?
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I think
was it? No, this is Karl again. Was it just you that I just spoke to?
It is.
Oh, gosh. I thought I deleted your number. I apologize. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not. But you're supposed to be on a different phone. But it's
oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Well, got the right person, apparently. I'll tell you what, let's delete this whole thing right there. There we go. There we go. Then we won't even bother getting her. Let's see, 7.2% of all home sales during the quarter, the highest home flipping rate since the first quarter of 2010. Now, but the profits weren't as high as they have been in the recent past. Homes flipped.
Hello, this is Joyce Austin. I'm sorry,
Homes flipped in the first quarter sold at an average gross profit of $60,000, which is the lowest average gross flipping profit since the first quarter of 2016. $60,000. Wow. Okay. Well, I think that's primarily because of different areas. You know, you have California, Florida, high dollar areas, Washington, Maryland, Annandale, things of those natures that Chicago have high dollar volumes in some ways. That can certainly result in a $60,000 profit. I think you'd be hard pressed to find that here in Tucson, Arizona. I think the average probably would be much less here in Tucson, Arizona. So in any event, it says that $60,000, which is the lowest average gross flipping profit since the first quarter of 2016. So in the last 3 years, I mean, everything's been going great, but maybe they only made $60,000 this time, right? It says investors saw an average 38.7% return on their investment.
Hey, you've reached Becky. Please leave your name.
They've reached a 38.7% return on. Hello?
Please leave your message for.
On their investment compared to their original acquisition price in the first. Hello? Oh, hi. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you? Hello? Can you hear me okay? Okay. I'm not sure if I have the right person. Are you the owners of a property on Victor Drive? Okay, I got the wrong number. Do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash? No. Okay, you have a great day, okay? Thank you. All right, so that's a wrong number. Trash that. Count that. Resume. Boom, okay. Let's see here. The investors saw an average 38.7% return on their investment compared to the original acquisition price. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. This is Karl Krentzel. Yeah, hi. My name's Karl Krentzel. How are you?
Good.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was looking for the owner of a home over there on Victor Drive. Is that your property, sir?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, my name's Karl. I'm a broker here in town. I was actually just calling to see if you'd considered selling your property at all. Have you?
No, not right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, I hear you. That's a nice looking property right there. About how long have you lived there?
Like 20 years.
Oh my goodness, 20 years. Holy cow. I bet you've seen a lot of changes, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Where'd you move from? Were you here in town when you moved out there? There wasn't much out there then.
Yeah. You know, I'm working right now.
Oh, okay. Hey, real quick, at what price would you become a seller?
What I say, I'm working right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. At what price would you consider? No problem. All right. Well, let's see here. Keep on trucking here. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like every time I'm sitting there trying to read this particular line that the phone goes right into the thing, right into a pickup. So,
please leave your message for.
Caught me that time. I was about to do it too. 38.7% return on the investment compared to their original acquisition price in the first quarter, down from 48.6%. So they were making 48% return on their investment last year, and this year they're making 38%. So they lost 10%, okay, of their average of their average return on investment. Okay, so how do you as an investor, how do you as a realtor?
Hello.
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today? Hello?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. It sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I was actually looking for the Barnes. They own some property over there on Brackenberry. Is that your property, sir?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you don't own a property here in Tucson?
What do you need to know?
Well, I was just curious to see if that was your property, if perhaps you would consider selling it. Do you happen to know of anybody else maybe who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No, I don't know anybody.
No problem. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to think about it anyway.
Are you a computer?
No, I'm a real person.
Generated?
No, I'm a real person.
You're
No, I'm a real person.
Who do you represent?
Well, I represent myself. Yeah, my name is Karl Krentzel. I'm a real estate broker here in Tucson. I work over here at Sotheby's, but I was calling about this property on Brackenberry that's owned by the Barneses, and I was just calling to see if they had perhaps considered if they would ever consider selling that property. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And did you happen to know of anybody who would consider selling their property in an all cash sort of situation?
No, not this time.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day anyway.
Okay.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
God bless. All right. So there and there. Okay. So how do you as a realtor who invests, as a realtor who wholesales, as an investor, how do you use this information about the return on investment decreasing over a year in a presentation? How do you use that to a customer in such a way that it would be beneficial to not only you, but to your customer, your client? It says that the profits weren't as high as they've been in the recent past. Homes flipped in the first quarter sold at an average gross profit of $60,000. And and with the interest rates dropping and home prices starting to ease.
This is Charlie Davis. Can't come to the phone. Leave your name and number, and I'll be back to you as soon as I can.
Sorry, Charlie, I got the wrong number. I hope you have a great day. If you didn't, well, boy, I'll tell you, I'm praying for you. Have a great day anyway. Bye-bye. Yeah, we'll just leave a nice little message for him. That way, when he gets home and gets that message, he'll have something positive to listen to. But yeah, how do you explain this to your clients? Well, listen, with the interest rates dropping and the home price increases, starting to ease, right? Investors are starting to think, you know what? Hey, it's time to get out while the getting is good. That's what that is. So if you've got people who are sitting on the fence, who are investors thinking, gosh, we need to hold on to our price for a little bit longer so we can make our money back, maybe it's a good idea to tell them, hey, guess what? The interest rates are dropping. Home prices are starting to soften. It's time for you to go ahead and get going while you can. Make that price reduction. Let's get the profit while you can. 10% of your potential income has already been washed away in the last 12 months. Hello? Hello?
Please leave your message for...
While home flipping rate is increasing, gross profits and return on investment are starting to weaken, and the number of investors that are flipping is down 11% from last year. Therefore, if investors are seeing profit margins drop, they may be acting now and selling before the price increases drop more.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
But this is an important factor for you to understand as a listing agent, as a realtor, as a homeowner, as an investor who maybe you're an investor watching or listening to the podcast, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm just going to go ahead and keep pushing and doing what I can to get the most money possible out of the property. Well, guess what? You're not getting the same amount of money statistically as you were this time last year. And the reason why is not because the market is bad, not because the market is terrible, but because there's so much on the market. As we've mentioned, you've got pooling in a lot of areas. 34 of the 35 major metropolitan areas that Zillow markets to is starting to experience pooling. That's why you're starting to see the profitability, your return on investment go down 10% in 1 year. If you're a investor who's got a property, you need to go ahead, price it appropriately, and get it sold. If you're a wholesaler, understand, if you're thinking that they're going to make fantastic amounts of money and that it's going to be this crazy ARV, well, it's not going to work out that way. And if you're trying to sell your wholesale property to an end-use investor that needs a lot of work, and you're pumping up the volume when it comes to, so to speak, when it comes up to the sales price. Hello?
Please leave your message for...
I don't think you're being necessarily responsible. I don't think you're being responsible to your client. I don't think you're being responsible to your customer. And I certainly don't think you're being responsible to your center of influence. Certainly something you need to let your clients know, especially if you're an investor or a realtor who is working with investors. All right, well, let's move into our final story for the day. Thank you so much for listening along as we've been prospecting here our pre-foreclosures and expireds and canceled listings. Hopefully, you've made a mental note to go over to theredpillinvestor.com and support the podcast by buying one of our 59-page books, the Red Pill Investor Scripts version 6.0. That book will definitely help you out. Definitely keep in mind the Wholesaling for Real Estate Agents or Realtors book that is coming out in the next few weeks. If you've got some particular questions or things that you think I'd need to add or cover in that book, then definitely. Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the owner of a home on Fordham. Is that your property?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No problem. Are you the owner of that property?
No.
No worries. Are they around?
No.
Okay, no problem. Well, listen, my name's Karl Krentzel. Do you know when would be a good time to catch up with them? I'm looking at maybe perhaps buying that property.
That property's not for sale.
I know it's not. I know it's not for sale, but I was just calling them about it to see if maybe they would be interested if I gave them some money, if they would be interested in selling it to me. Do you know when would be a good time to catch up with them?
Probably. Well, they work until later tonight.
Okay.
Like 10 or 11.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll tell you what. Would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Would you mind giving my number and my name and tell them that I'm calling?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Have you got my number right there on your caller ID?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just take a screenshot of my number there. My name's Karl. Let them know that if they're interested in that property on Fordham, I know that they probably lived there a good long time and they love it. But if they're interested, I'd certainly be interested in talking to them about giving them some cash for that property if they're interested. Okay.
All right.
All right. You have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. So I'm not, I'm not going to count that as a contact. Certainly not going to consider that. Oops. Let's see here. Hang that up. Let's move on to the next one. There we go. Not going to consider that a potential or anything like that, simply because that property is I think I was just looking at the Zillow amount on that, and I don't think that home's worth anywhere near that. And it's that area I know very well, and it's I'm not going to lose my sleep if her dad doesn't call me. I mean, I think that's their daughter, I think. So just by the tone of her voice, it doesn't sound like she's an adult. So in any event, we're going to go ahead and jump.
Hello?
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not certain if I have the right person, so I apologize. I was actually looking for the Peregrinas. They own some property over there on Baker. Is that your property, sir?
On Baker?
Yes, sir. On Baker Drive, 8109 Baker Drive. Yes, sir.
It used to be mine a long time ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. I got the wrong number then. No worries. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No, I don't.
Okay. No problem, my brother. All right. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day. Okay.
You too.
Thank you. Stay
Bye.
out of the heat. All right. So Let's see, wrong number. Yes and yes. Okay. Many of these people right here might have already been foreclosed, and that's just because these numbers are a little bit old. I'm not sure who's. I've not completely gone through them. I'll be honest with you. Okay. So our final story for the day says your buyers are losing sleep over moving. Now, this is something you want to think about, right? If you're a realtor or an investor, you have to be aware that it is difficult. Hi, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today? Hello? I think I sound too much like a recording on that one. There we go. Boom. If you're a realtor or an investor, you have to be aware that it's becoming harder and harder to keep a deal together. It's not uncommon for people to get a DFT or deal fall through or whatever you might call it in your local marketplace. But it's not uncommon for people to put a home under contract and then have the contract fall apart for some reason that the deal just doesn't come together. And many times it's because your buyer isn't thinking properly, right? It says that healthy sleep.
The number you have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and try again.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Healthy Sleep, a firm that researches sleep quality, surveyed more than 1,000 Americans who moved in the past year to learn how the move affected their sleep and how they eventually got a better night's sleep after their move. Okay. Says 64% of the respondents, that's 640 out of 1,000 people, 640 families, 640 people, 640 buyers. How many buyers did you sell a home to last year? That's a lot of people. 640, that's a lot of buyers, right? Said that 640 people said that their sleep quality was affected by moving to a new home. I believe it. I mean, buying and selling real estate is a stressful business. I get it. Said 34%, 340, I guess, said that they slept worse after they moved. 46% said they slept less immediately after moving. Just one poor night of sleep can cause significant changes to your brain and body, but after numerous days of poor sleep, it can take weeks to fully feel recovered, the study says. Well, that's not surprising at all. I mean, when you think about it, moving can bring on a lot of stress, and that can impact your sleep quality. And if more than half of these people are saying that they're having problems with their sleep and that they can't sleep because of stress, if they're not able to sleep, they're not able to think. If they're not able to think clearly, they're going to get frustrated easily.
Hello?
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Hello?
Yeah, my name's Karl. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
For?
Yeah, no problem. My name's Karl Krentzel. I'm not sure if I've got the right place. I'm looking for the owners of a home on Southbrook. Is that your property?
No, it's the wrong number.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, brother. All right, well, listen, you have a great day, okay? Thanks.
All right, you too.
Take care. Bye-bye. Right. Let's see. The study did suggest that some people may be able to expect a good night's sleep after a move. For example, the type of home people relocated to had significant impact on the quality of sleep. Nearly 70% of those who experienced worse sleep had moved to a mobile or manufactured home. Those moving to townhouses, on the other hand, were most likely to report an increase in their quality of sleep immediately after moving. Interesting. Now, I'm not saying anything about mobile homes or manufactured housing. However, it is important for you to recognize that if you sell these types of products, mobile homes, manufactured homes, if you sell these products, okay, it says that 70%. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. My name's Karl. I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the Hernandezes. They own some property over there on Century Drive. Is that your property? No, I see. All right. Call him back tomorrow. Says that 70% of those people who experienced worse sleep had moved to a manufactured or mobile home. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you're selling that type of product, that's got to be very difficult. I mean, that's really got to be very difficult for people if they're moving into that. Maybe they're afraid of the new community. Perhaps maybe they got security concern. What your concerns would be about moving into a mobile or manufactured home. I mean, if you're moving into a mobile home or a manufactured home park, perhaps I can see that. I mean, I don't know. But it says sleepless nights may stick around for a while after you move. It says men reported their sleep being negatively affected for 13 nights immediately after they moved. And women felt the effects on average for 16 nights. By age group, baby boomers had the most difficulty getting quality sleep after relocating. This is a business that you've got to take from a holistic perspective, okay? In the new book that I've got coming out, Wholesaling for Real Estate Agents, Realtors, we talk at length about this. You've got to approach your business from a holistic perspective. In my opinion, if you're a realtor who invests and you're watching this YouTube or listening to the podcast, it's my belief that if you're a realtor who chooses to wholesale or invest or add wholesaling or investing to your business, your repertoire of things that you provide for your customers, then you have to think about this in a holistic way, meaning that you have to think about not only yourself and the contract and all the parts there, you have to think about your end use buyer. You have to think about what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's affecting their thoughts. What is the market going to be like around them? You've got to, hey, this is Colonel Krentzel. How are you today?
Oh, excuse me. I think you had a wrong number.
Maybe. Do you own a property on Los Reales Road? Do you own a? Boy, that's frustrating. Okay. I frequently say this, probably a little too much. You have to begin with the end in mind. That's my belief. You have to begin with the end in mind. If you want your real estate career to look a certain way, you have to begin with the end in mind. If you want your client,
your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
If you want your clients to act a certain way, you have to begin with the end in mind. If you think that you want to attract a particular type of client, you have to begin.
Good morning, Cleveland Company.
Good morning. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you today?
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was looking for the owners of a property over there on Silver Bell Tree. Is that your property?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Silver Bell what?
Yes, Silver Bell Tree Drive. It's owned by Jesus Toscano and Heartfire Capital. Does that ring a bell at all?
No, it does not.
Okay, well, I might have the wrong number. No worries. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No, I do not.
No problem. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day today, okay?
Okay, bye.
All right, God bless. All right, so let's see here. Number, yes. There we go. Bam. You have to think holistically.
Good morning, Thompson Kane. This is Liz. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. This is Karl Krentzel. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you.
I think I'm better than I deserve. I think I actually owe you an apology. I think I have the wrong number. I was looking for the owners of a property over there on on Silver Bell Tree. Do you know anything about that property?
Hold on. Let me find it. On Silver Bell Tree?
Yeah, 2309 West Silver Bell Tree. Do you know anything about that property?
Let me look.
No worries.
Yes.
Yeah, you had some questions on it?
Yeah, so I'm a broker here in town who buys property, and I was actually just calling to see if that property was available for sale or what was the current status of that property.
Okay, let me get this message over to Colin. He is not in the office right now.
Okay, yeah, no worries. If you wouldn't mind, just let him know that Karl had called. My number, my Karl, Karl. And
Krentzel.
Yes, ma'am. That's the one. And you got caller ID. You got caller ID right there.
Yeah, it's 403-6227.
Yes, ma'am. That's the one.
You're just interested in
that property? So I'm a broker here in town, and I'm calling about it to see if he's interested in selling it. So yeah, have him give me a jingle when he gets a minute. Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye bye.
Right. You're welcome. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. Left a message. Okay. So move on to the next property. There we go. So as I said, you have to think very holistically about it. If you're thinking about your client, where do you want them to come from, and what do they look like in terms of, type of house, location, price range, things of that nature. And the more you think about what you want in the beginning, right? If you put the end in mind, if you put that in mind and you start thinking it through, I think what you'll discover is you will start to make the plans, make the moves, make the actions that you need to take to get to just what you want. Many years, I have been under the belief that the best thing to do was to call everybody in your county and anybody, regardless of the price range, and just, buy volume. And I'm not so certain that that's a good way to approach business anymore. As I get a little bit older, I'm almost 50. And I got to be honest with you, I don't like driving all over the county to do business, but I do enjoy driving to a particular type of property that I've selected in a particular area that I like to work. And
Hello?
Hey, this is Karl Krentzel.
Hello?
Hi, my name's Karl. Can you hear me?
No.
You can't hear me? Well, all right. I'm not sure how you can't hear me, but okay. There we go. It's just a lot easier, I think, if you approach the people that you want in your business and you work from that end. So, for example, getting back to this Baltimore issue, if you could imagine your business being closed down because of a hacker attack and a ransomware attack, how would you make money? How would you make money if you can't close a deal in the city because of a ransomware attack? How would you close a deal? How would you make money? You got to have more than one way to feed yourself. You got to have more than one. The Bible says that there was 4 rivers that led into Eden, and that out of these 4 rivers, that was enough to feed early man. That it was enough for Adam and Eve that they could go ahead and survive what they needed to get. My feeling is that you need to have 2 or 3, at least 4 methods of generating income. You need to have not just your real estate, your real estate consulting too. Think that through. There's a lot of people who want to hear what you know. So you definitely want to put that out there. Let people know that you can help them in a real estate transaction in one way or the other. Maybe you've got a special skill or a special talent aside from real estate. That also helps. You don't always want to put all your eggs in one.
Thank you for calling Citizens Transfer and Storage, an agent for Allied landlines.
That's not
You
what I
may
want.
dial 0 at any time to reach an operator.
Okay.
For a free estimate, please press 1.
I don't want that. All right, cool. Let's see, that's a wrong number there. There we go. You always want to have more than one.
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to archive this one here. There we go. I don't even want to deal with this one because this is a transfer place. There we go. Boom. See if it's... Oh, you know what? I think I got the wrong number. I was looking for Frank. Sorry. Have a great day. I know that guy. And he is not a good person. He is. As soon as I saw him, he's a fellow. He's not really an agent, but he's the kind of guy who's got multiple problems with the law for acting like an agent, and he tends to do some shady things. And I'm not really down for that. He's not my kind of guy. So I don't even want to talk to him. He's just not my guy. All right. So in any event, definitely what you want to do is you definitely want to, oh, I don't want that. I don't want this. Oh, goodness. Sorry about this, guys. It's taking me a little bit longer to get this through than I had hoped here. That I'm pressing the wrong buttons on this. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and stop it right there. But essentially, there we go. All right. Essentially, what I was trying to tell you is simply this, okay? That you want to have more than one, all right? You have more than one way to go ahead and get business, all right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I recognize that wholesaling is definitely a good part of that. I recognize that investing and holding, buying and holding, listing, buying, selling, those are all good compartments and parts of real estate. However, be aware. Places like Baltimore, this has happened, $18 million in estimated losses. And they haven't got any one step further to solving that problem. It's already happened in Atlanta, and now it's happened in Baltimore, and other cities are on alert. It's time for you to be aware of that too, and start stacking your cash and being ready, because you never can tell when that sort of thing might hit your town. And if it does, you don't want to be that guy with your clients sitting there wondering, when the hell is this going to close? You want to be prepared, be ready as best you can, and ensure that your clients are ready and do the things they need to do to get their deals closed quickly. Guys, listen, you've been very patient with me. Thank you so much for paying attention. There's been somebody watching this entire time. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been helpful to know that I'm not alone. I appreciate everybody that's been sharing this on the podcast, on Bigger Pockets, on YouTube, on their social media, letting people know about the Red Pill Investor podcast. I am very, very grateful for everything that everybody has been doing to help me. Thank you so much. And again, as you know about that book coming out, one quick thing, if you have any questions in particular about wholesaling as a realtor that you feel I need to change, or I'm sorry, that I need to address, then please DM me, instant mail, email me at kkrentzel@gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up here in the chat bar right down there if you'd like, and I'll be sure to cover those issues as well. I think I've got them all covered. After 23 years, I think I've got them all covered, but there might be a couple that I'm missing. And if there's something in particular you want to make sure that I get, then please, I'm open to your suggestions. That book should be coming out within the next week or so. And that I think will be very helpful to many of you. Again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.